All right. So to get started, we're going to review what we've been seeing the last 7 days. Um, we've been still around the kind of teens to 20s for average temperature, and with snowfall, you can see there's still a gradient. We've continued to get rounds of lake effect snow, really giving snow to some of these northwest lower areas and eastern upper, and still leaving out northeast lower. And we can see that too in the different from average, that gradient kind of across the state there. But for average temperature, we are slightly warming up from the last time we talked. I think we're getting a little bit of contamination here from about 7 days ago when it was really cold, but still we are around or just slightly below normal, with that trend being more around normal lately for our temperatures. For what's happened snowfall wise, our current snow depth is around 10 to 30 inches at max for some of the areas in our typical snow belt spots that have seen this lake effect snow. You can see Whitefish Point up to 30 inches for their current snow depth as well. And northeast lower, we are seeing that again with them just missing out on some of the lake effect snow, just a couple inches on the ground. So we do have, again, that really good gradient of near to even above average snowfall for northwest lower and eastern upper, and then lower than average for northeast lower. So looking more narrowly at the next 7 days, we are going to see, as far as hazards and impacts, the worst today with some of the snow that's happening right now, and that will continue through the evening hours. We're really looking at a break though from this widespread snow to move out around 6 p.m. And so from 6 to probably 9 or a little bit later, we're going to struggle seeing some of that wider spread snow around northern Michigan. But 9 p.m. and after for today, we could see some chances for maybe some narrower bands of more heavy snowfall happening along a frontal boundary that moves through tonight. Kind of what we've been seeing the past couple days with just those really localized areas of really heavy snowfall. It's moving a little bit more quickly too, so accumulations are tough, and visibilities are the main kind of impact with that. Or I'm sorry, main hazard with that. So again, what we're looking for as far as snow amounts though, today and tonight, generally 2 inches across northern lower and then eastern upper, 3 to 6 inches. Wednesday morning, transition to kind of more lake effect snow. Eastern upper could be hanging on to snow a little bit more in during the day, going into kind of the later hours of Wednesday and into Thursday. Wednesday, we are seeing a little bit more of that lake effect snow for northwest lower and eastern upper, but then Thursday, that does start to shut off, and eastern upper again could be hanging on to that, but it's trailing off going into Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, we're looking at very little to no chances for snow. We'll see how models trend, but for right now, we are looking at a break from some of this stuff for Friday and Saturday. There is a system that could kind of scrape some of the southern parts of our area, Gladwin County, Aranac, but we're watching that. And then Sunday and Monday, there are chances for some of that snow to return. So to go into details for today, the rest of what we will be seeing, again, high chances for at least 3 inches of parts across of northern Michigan, mainly near and north of M30 or M72. Winds are gusting, and they will continue to gust, probably building a little bit to 30 miles an hour. Gustiest in northern lower Michigan as well, so that blowing and drifting snow is going to continue. But again, as we get into like that 6 p.m. time frame later this evening, we should start to see a break of the actual snowfall. Winds will still be gusty and could be blowing that stuff around. But then later tonight, we'll see some of that more focused and heavier snowfall along the narrow bands as they move through along the frontal passage. And then going into Wednesday, lake effect does continue. So we get the winds to go around to the northwest, and then typical snow belts of northern lower and eastern upper will see an additional few inches. At max, we have 4 inches kind of in our forecast, but up in kind of by Whitefish Point, some of the spots in eastern upper could see a little bit more, just with some of the recent trends that we've been seeing today in the forecast. Here's the temperature forecast for the week and weekend. You can see we're staying pretty much around normal. There are some dips though as we get these systems that move through and that push of cooler air kind of comes in, but we rebound pretty quickly, probably on the order of 10 to 12 hours. We get back up into either the 20s or 30s going into the weekend. So temperatures definitely are a little bit more mild for this period. Winds. So I'm sure some are wondering when we will see a break in some of these gusty winds and the blowing and drifting snow. We do have winds kind of gusting through most of the day Wednesday. We do see a break maybe at 6 p.m. And then likely overnight, but the next kind of system is approaching and our winds will turn southwest and start to become gusty again going into Thursday. We don't, again, expect really snow for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but our winds continue to be a little bit more gusty as we go into Thursday. 6 to 10 day outlook, we've got near normal chances, near normal conditions for precipitation, and we could be slightly below normal for temperatures, but right now nothing super significant that we're seeing in the 6 to 10 day outlook as far as any hazardous weather. And then our water temperatures for the Great Lakes is continuing to drop. From the gusty winds, though, that we've had, we did see a dip in ice cover. So some of that water is moving around and breaking up some of that ice. So recently, we've just seen a little bit of a dip there with some of that coverage on the Great Lakes. So to summarize, widespread snowfall today, 2 to 4 inches across northern lower, 3 to 6 across eastern upper. Winds gusting as high as 25 to 35 miles an hour. So that's going to lead to reductions in visibility and that blowing and drifting snow at times. Gusty northwest winds on Wednesday with a transition to lake effect snow, 1 to 4 inches is in the forecast right now. Locally higher amounts are possible though, and we're kind of looking at that Whitefish Point, eastern upper area. Early snow showers possible on Thursday. Those are just kind of lingering over eastern upper. At this time, we're looking at that to be minimal as far as impacts go and should kind of come to a stop by midday on Thursday. And we are monitoring a system for late in the week, but recent trends do keep the bulk of the moisture south. So that's for that weekend time frame, and additional snow chances return for Sunday into Monday. All right, and if there's any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat or raise your hand or unmute yourself. Happy to answer anything for you.